Hello, so we're going to go over how to set up an image plane based off of your video reference that you shot in this video. Okay, so you're going to start with your Maya scene here, and you should have set up your basic Maya scene. So let's just go over how to do that one more time. So you're going to go down to your file, down to project window, and you're going to establish your new project folder for your animation. So you can see here that I've created a project called reference demo. You can place it into the appropriate folder, and you want to just have your default set of folders here to work with. I'm not going to worry about changing any of these names. I'm just going to leave them as is. If you wanted to change them, you could, but you don't need to. Once that's done, you just hit accept, and once you hit accept, you will automatically be set up to work in that folder. If you have a folder system already set up, you can go File, Set Project, and you can select that folder and then hit Set. Okay, and the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to save our scene. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and you can save it. I recommend using 3 numbers at the end of your shot so that you can version up your shot. Okay, so I'm going to call this shot. I'm just going to version this up to 002 and hit save. Okay. Alright, at this point, what you want to do is you want to set up your file so that it's ready to import your reference. So before I do that, I want to establish the proper camera that I'm going to use. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go File and Create. I go down to Cameras, and I'm going to create a basic camera. You see, you created it in the center here, and I'm going to switch to a 3-panel view, and I'm going to turn this panel over to camera 1, which now I'm looking through this camera like this. I'm going to rename this camera to Render Cam, as that will be my final camera. And I'm going to change just a couple settings here. The focal length right now is 35 millimeter, 35 lens. I'm sorry. I'm going to change this to 80, just to flatten it out a little bit. Okay. And what that does is just flattens out the image so that it doesn't look quite as warped in the 35 mil lens. The 80 mil lens will just flatten out the image a little bit for you. Okay. I want to also set up my render settings. So I'm going to go to my render settings menu, and in here I'm going to go down here to renderable cameras. I'm going to select the render cam, and then I want to set up my image size to an HD 1080. Okay, so you get 1920 by 1080 as the final render size. I'm going to hit close. That's all I need in there. And in here in the camera, there's a few things that I want to turn on. So I'm going to go into View, under Camera Settings, and I'm going to turn on my resolution gate so I can see what I'm looking at for my final render. And I usually turn on Safe Action, Safe Title. You don't have to turn on Safe Title right away. You can just leave on Safe Action. So you want to keep your animation within that Safe Action field for you know what you're looking at. Okay, and then close that. And then you would establish where your camera, you'd want your camera to be. So I would have my set in here with my character rigs, and I would establish the camera position. Okay. And when I'm ready to lock off my camera, I just hit this little camera lock right there, and you can see that it locks out these channels so that the camera cannot move now. So now my scene's locked off, and that's what I want it to be to animate. In here, this is my perspective window. This is where I will be working with my rig. Okay. So I am going to import my reference now into this this camera here. Okay. So I'm going to go View, down to Image Plane, and import movie because I shot an MP4 file for the movie clip. And in here, if you don't see your movie like this, Maya recognizes QuickTime files, or QuickTime codecs, I should say. If you are using an alternative codec, usually you can open this up to all files, and it'll show you, you should be able to see your original reference clip in there as an MP4 file. You can see that this is an MOV based off of QuickTime. This is an MP4, so you should be able to see your MP4 file in there for import. Okay, and I'm going to hit open, and you can see it's brought in my image plane. You can see that now I can scrub my image plane with no problem. I don't want to keep it this full size, so I'm going to reduce the size of it. So I'm going to just select both the size X and the size Y together. I'm going to hold down Control on my keyboard and middle mouse drag down, and you can see I can just make this smaller. Okay. I'm also going to use the depth channel, and I'm going to set it up to about 1,000 units. And what that does, it just pushes it back in depth so that the character rig in that won't interfere with the plane itself. Okay. And then for positioning, I usually just take the offset X and offset Y. Again, I'm going to hold down Control on my keyboard, and I'm just going to shift it up to either the top right or top left corner, whatever you prefer, and stick it there so I can use it as a reference. Okay, so you can see that's all set up. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to do is, and this is optional depending on if you have audio or not, I'm going to import some audio to go with my reference clip that I shot. So in here I can click down on the audio setting here, and I can import an audio clip. Now you can see it's taken me into my sound folder of my reference demo project folder set, and there's my ref wave file. And this does have to be a wave file, so if you have to export it, make sure that you do get a wave file, and then import that, and it will set it up on the timeline here, and I can play it. Okay. You also want to set up your frame range. Okay, so this shot here would go to a total of 190 frames. Okay, so I would make sure that this was set up to 191 frames for the total shot, and now your shot is ready to set up. So now I have my image plane, my camera's locked off. You can see here that I can work with it at a problem. Now I can see the image plane in this camera as well, so if I want to change that, I can go to the attribute editor, and I can just say look through camera only, so that it won't show me in the perspective window, it'll only show me my reference in the camera, and that's probably how you want to set it up so you don't see it in your actual working window. Okay, and then you're ready to go. Alright, so as long as you have image plane turned on under show right there, you will be able to see that image plane. Okay, so I hope that helps you set up your image plane for animation.